It's 2015 all over again because Inside Out 2 is here. The sequel to the Oscar-winning animated film Inside Out 2 continues the story of Riley Andersen and her inner emotions: joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. However, this time, a new slew of emotions join in as Riley grows up. Today, we're looking at the development behind Inside Out 2, some cut concepts, and a whole bunch of Easter eggs as we go through 107 facts about Inside Out 2. Let's get started. Also, spoiler alert, because we're going through the entire film today. Number 1. Inside Out 2 was first announced at the D23 Expo in 2022. Pete Docter took the stage and was soon joined by Amy Poehler to break the news. In the announcement, Docter revealed that he would be passing the directorial torch to Kelsey Mann. Meg Lefauve would be returning to write the film, and Mark Nielsen would be producing it. Number 2. This will be Kelsey Mann's first director credit for a feature-length Pixar film. Mann previously directed the Party Central short based on the Monsters, Inc. universe, and was the story supervisor for Monsters University, The Good Dinosaur, and Onward. Number 3. In order to get things right for Inside Out 2, the people behind the film consulted Bay Area teenagers to make sure they properly represented 13-year-olds, and didn't make the film cringy. According to Mann, quote, "I am not 13 years old anymore. There's still a 13-year-old in me, I can tap into that, but I can only tap into it so much, especially if you want everyone to relate to this. I'm like, I need to go straight to the source." Number 4. Many of the original voices return to reprise their roles. However, Riley's original voice, Caitlin Diaz, will not be returning to voice Riley in Inside Out 2. Instead, Kensington Tallman will be replacing her in the role. Number 5. Of the core emotions, joy, sadness, and anger will be reprised by Amy Poehler, Phyllis Smith, and Louis Black, respectively. Number 6. Mindy Kaling is not returning as the voice of Disgust. Instead, Liza Lapira joins the cast as the new voice for Disgust. Number 7. Bill Hader also isn't making a return for Inside Out 2, so Fear will instead be played by Tony Hale. Number 8. With Riley at the onset of puberty, Inside Out 2 introduces new, more complicated emotions as Riley starts to grow up. These more nuanced emotions start to take over fast, and I mean fast. Number 9. When creating the new emotions, new shapes were created by the team to complement the existing shapes of the core emotions. Number 10. New to the crew, we have Anxiety, who is played by Maya Hawke. You probably know her name from a little-known series called Stranger Things. Number 11. As described by production designer Jason Deemer, Anxiety is orange with electric shape language, tense and shaky. You'll always see the whites of her eyes, and her feather-like hair betrays her constant movements. Number 12. An early version of Anxiety, shown by Kelsey Mann, was kinda like a kaiju/monster that grew the more anxious Riley felt. It would eventually shrink once you learned how to control it. Number 13. Another early concept was a version of Anxiety that pretended to be what Mann calls the Transitional Integration Advisor, or TIA for short, or TIA. Number 14. According to story supervisor McKenna Harris, Anxiety is the antagonist, but she isn't the bad guy. Reason being, quote, "We felt that Anxiety can't be all bad. It serves a purpose in our lives, so we treat Anxiety with empathy and compassion in our story to make sure that the character isn't a classic film villain. She's someone who wants the best for Riley." Number 15. When Anxiety was first introduced in the film, she carries so many luggage bags, which is a representation of emotional baggage that comes with anxiety. Number 16. A detail you might notice as you watch is that as the film progresses and Anxiety takes root in Riley, her surroundings also start to become more orange, which includes the locker room and hockey uniforms at camp. Number 17. Another newcomer, Embarrassment, is, quote, pink like blush with a soft and round shape to evoke his reticence and timidness. Number 18. Embarrassment is voiced by Paul Walter Hauser, who's had roles in Orion and the Dark, Cobra Kai, and Disney's Cruella live-action film. Number 19. Next up is Ennui, who Deemer describes as having, quote, the posture of a limp noodle. She's rarely interested enough to lift her own head. Number 20. Ennui is a loan word from French and is used as a mix of boredom, weariness, and angst. It's probably also the reason why Ennui has a French accent throughout the film. Number 21. Early concept art of Ennui shows her in a pinkish reddish hue, but she's bluish gray in the final film. Number 22. According to Deemer, quote, "We ultimately went with this dark, desaturated blue grayish shade. If I had to give it a name, it'd be blah." Number 23. Adele Exarchopoulos lends her voice for Ennui. Keeping to the Disney family, she also lent her voice as the French voice for Ember in Elemental. Number 24. Ennui was actually one of the emotions that didn't make it into the first film. There is a deleted scene that features a few seconds with that version of Ennui. Number 25. Lastly, we have Envy, who Deemer says, quote, "Envy is teal in color and a smaller, sprouting mushroom shape to juxtapose against the rest of the cast. Naturally, she wishes she were taller and less childlike. She may be small, but she knows what she wants, and is always looking at what other people have." Number 26. Envy has big, longing eyes filled with desire. She only has 4 fingers on each hand because she always desires something other people have, which is 5 fingers on each hand. Number 27. Envy is the shortest emotion, which means that she constantly has to look up to everyone else. Get it? Number 28. In some concepts from Inside Out, Envy was originally portrayed as a slick, nefarious-looking businessman or a member of the mob. You decide. I just think he looks a little suspect. Of course, that version of Envy did not make it into Inside Out 2, and instead, we get this great character. Number 29. Envy is voiced by Emmy Award-winning actor Ayo Edebiri. She also voiced Gloria Grant in Across the Spider-Verse and April O'Neil in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film. I know her from The Bear. Number 30. Oh, wait, there's actually one more new emotion that makes an appearance in Inside Out 2, and that's nostalgia. This brings the total count of emotions in Riley's mind to 10, double that of the first film. Number 31. Nostalgia wears glasses that are rose in color, which is supposed to represent rose-tinted glasses, which is the act of seeing past events in a positive light. It's like when people are like, "Oh, you're so nostalgic for this." And it's just like, yeah. I remember when, and it's just like, was it really like that? Number 32. Several concepts for nostalgia include different shaped glasses, different hairstyles, a nose, and even a more sausage-like shape. Kind of like a minion from Despicable Me. Number 33. Nostalgia is voiced by June Squibb, who also provided the voice for Margaret in Toy Story 4. Number 34. Director Kelsey Mann said that Inside Out 2 was originally going to have 9 new emotions. That seems like a lot, but considering that the first Inside Out was going to feature 27 emotions at one point, that number's nothing. Number 35. Guilt was one of those cut emotions. Early concepts shown off by character designer Crystal Kung show Guilt wearing something heavy, be it a backpack or a ball and chain. This seems to play along with the term emotional baggage, which you can see was transferred to anxiety in the final film. Number 36. Similar to the other characters, Guilt played on specific shapes, such as a tiny circle paired with a huge shape like a triangle or square. The mismatch seems to play on the imbalance of this emotion, like he's carrying something. Number 37. Another of these cut emotions was suspicion. You can see one common theme with all of the art for suspicion, and it's that they all have eyes that clearly don't trust anyone. There's also the biblically accurate suspicion, featuring multiple eyes. Number 38. Awe was another one of these cut emotions. Their designs mostly featured a wide-eyed character with their mouth open or jaws dropped to different extents. Personally, I think these are perfect, and they definitely show the feeling of awe. Number 39. Schadenfreude is one emotion that was a concept for the first Inside Out, was cut, and was also in the running for Inside Out 2 before being cut as well. Schadenfreude is the German expression to feel joy in someone else's misfortune. Number 40. According to Mann, Schadenfreude would have been a German-styled character with a German accent. He mentions that in the concepts, there was a scene where fear hit his head, and Schadenfreude liked that. Number 41. Mark Nielsen mentions that there was also a jealousy emotion which would have been twins with envy, and other characters would have confused the two of them. In the end, they cut jealousy because they found that jealousy was a completely different emotion from envy, so the twin thing didn't quite pan out. Number 42. However, the one emotion that seemingly got very far in the concept stage is shame, as they're shown in art as part of the crew of new emotions. They sport long hair and were dark gray in color. Also, please note that I'm only assuming it got very far because it was in later concept arts. Like, no other concept character was part of this particular concept art. Number 43. Kelsey Mann decided to cut out some of these more negative emotions to make things more comedic. According to Mann, it was not fun, it was too heavy. Number 44. Instead, the emotions that Mann decided to keep were more associated with growing up, and fit in perfectly as Riley goes through puberty. Number 45. Not only do we get new emotions, but we also get some new characters that'll play a pivotal part in Riley's development. 2 of those characters are Riley's best friends, Bree and Grace, who are played by Samaya Nuruddin-Green and Grace Liu, respectively. Number 46. Valentina Ortiz makes her debut as well. She's one of Riley's hockey idols in school. She's voiced by Lilimar Hernandez, who also plays Sophia in the Baymax series, and, this one's just for me, Giovanna in Guilty Gear Strive. Number 47. Coach Roberts, the hockey camp coach, is another character important to Riley's growth. She's played by Yvette Nicole Brown, who's played Helen from Drake and Josh, among many other roles. I chose Helen because that is probably my favorite role of hers. Number 48. In the film, you'll discover that the core emotions, joy, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, soon become suppressed emotions. Where do you keep suppressed emotions? Well, locked up in a mind vault, of course. And eagle-eyed watchers may catch that the vault Joy and the gang are locked up in is Vault ACXIII, which in Roman numerals is A113, a classic Pixar Easter egg. If you don't know what A113 is, it's the number of the animation classroom at CalArts, where a lot of members of Pixar are from. Number 49. Production designer Jason Deemer mentions that the shot of the seal of Riley seen when the suppressed emotions are about to enter the vault is a nod to Terry Gilliam's film Brazil. Number 50. The suppressed emotions aren't the only ones in the vault. Along with them are some of Riley's locked up secrets, and one secret is Bluefy, a character from Bluefy's House, one of Riley's favorite TV shows from her childhood. Bluefy gives off vibes similar to Dora from Dora the Explorer, Blue from Blue's Clues, and many, many more. Number 51. Just like said characters, Bluefy breaks the fourth wall and addresses the audience directly. This is a common trope found in many shows for kids. Number 52. Bluefy is the first traditionally drawn character in a feature-length Pixar film. However, it isn't their first traditionally drawn character, they've done it for shorts as well. Number 53. In his concept art, Bluefy can be seen striking a pose that looks similar to Mickey's. Number 54. Bluefy was voiced by Ren Funches, who's provided voice work in BoJack Horseman, Adventure Time, We Bare Bears, and for Disney, The Lion Guard. Number 55. Of course, you can't talk about Bluefy without Pouchy, the pouch sidekick that serves a similar role as a backpack from Dora the Explorer. Number 56. Whenever someone needs something from Pouchy, all they gotta say is, "Oh, Pouchy!" And Pouchy comes to aid them. This is similar to how Mickey Mouse says, "Oh, Toodles!" to get Toodles' attention in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Number 57. Pouchy is voiced by SNL star James Austin Johnson. Number 58. Move over, imaginary boyfriend. We've got Lance Slashblade now. Lance Slashblade appears as one of Riley's fictional crushes and has echoes of protagonists from JRPGs such as Final Fantasy. Number 59. According to Kelsey Mann, Lance Slashblade was created by story artist McKenna Harris. Number 60. Animator David Torres said in an interview that the team had to deliberately lower their visual standards so that they could craft Lance. For one, Lance's frame rate is lower and movements are less smooth compared to the other characters. Number 61. Lance Slashblade's aesthetic emulates many old video games, particularly from the 6th generation of consoles, which is the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, and you'll notice that he has a lower poly count compared to everyone else. Number 62. Kelsey Mann states that, "I did a drawing of all three of them, and Lance was always there. We always knew he'd be a warrior, and somebody's like, he should have a giant sword. Huge one." Number 63. Speaking of his sword, you'll notice that outside of just being a blade, his sword also has small details that make it look like a hockey stick. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was called the Hockey Blade or the Blades of Ice or something like that, because it's like how there's the Gun Blade, the Key Blade, what else? The Ice Blade, Hockey Blade. Number 64. A nice little detail about Lance Slashblade is that his hair clips through his character model, just like a lot of characters in JRPGs. Number 65. Okay, last video game related fact about Lance Slashblade, because he is my favorite. He has limits to his movement, and can get stuck in invisible barriers while moving around. He also moves around in 90-degree angles like all of those old video games as well, so his movement isn't like omnidirectional like most modern games. Number 66. In an interview, Deemer stated that, "We were asked to do a digitally simple thing. We had more meetings about that character and how much pixelation was too much. There were about 14 people in the room for about 12 weeks wondering, what do we mean by not as good looking quality? And where do we land? 12 weeks! That's nuts, but it all worked out because in my opinion, Lance was perfect." Number 67. Lance Slashblade was voiced by Yang Ya, veteran voice actor and fellow YouTuber. Number 68. The last vaulted character is Deep Dark Secret. As his name implies, he holds Riley's deepest and darkest secret. Number 69. Deep Dark Secret is voiced by none other than Paul Walter Hauser, who also voiced Embarrassment. Funny how the two quietest but biggest characters are voiced by the same person. Number 70. If you want to know what the Deep Dark Secret is, you can see the reveal in the post-credits scene featuring the Deep Dark Secret, or, spoiler alert, for those of you that don't want to know the secret, Riley burnt the carpet. That's it. Number 71. Imagination Land makes a return from the first film, but it isn't what it used to be. Instead of the bright and cheery environment filled with loads of positive imaginations, we instead see that anxiety has taken over and it's a dark land filled with negativity. Number 72. While in Imagination Land, we see Mount Crushmore, the top 4 crushes in Riley's life. Lance/Blade makes an appearance, but so does the kid that appears at the end of Inside Out, Jordan. Number 73. Anxiety's takeover of Imagination Land includes workers constantly drawing up new anxiety-induced emotions. One of these workers is number 87, which was shaped to look like Ralph Eggleston, a Pixar art director, storyboard artist, and production designer, and a key individual behind the look and feel of the world of Inside Out. Unfortunately, Eggleston passed away before Inside Out 2. Number 74. In the film, Joy breaks anxiety's control over these workers. In a move similar to the 1984 Apple ad, one of these workers throws a chair at the massive monitor showing anxiety's face. Number 75. Also, for a split second, one of the monitors in the room has a parody of the distracted boyfriend meme. Number 76. At one point in the film, Riley has to think of different ideas to impress the hockey coach in order to get into the high school hockey team. She starts to brainstorm different ideas, which manifests as a literal storm of light bulbs inside her mind. These light bulbs represent her ideas, which is similar to how light bulbs are used when people say, "I've got an idea." Number 77. Towards the end of the film, Anxiety tries to help Riley through her panic attack, but in doing so, she creates a literal whirlwind of emotion. Number 78. At the end of the film, in order to calm down, Anxiety takes some anxiety, or anxiety, and calms herself in a massage chair. Number 79. The team that Riley plays on, the Foghorns, have a Q*bert-like character as their mascot. Number 80. Riley's number on the Foghorns is 28, which represents Inside Out 2's spot as the 28th Pixar film. Number 81. The jersey number was actually a last-minute change to accommodate the fact that Elio was delayed to after Inside Out 2. If it hadn't, Riley's number would be 29. Number 82. In the hockey rink, you can spot an advertisement for Spinney's Pizza, which is a nod to the late Carol Spinney, the puppeteer for Big Bird. Number 83. The Under Armour that Riley and her hockey team wear is the brand DMR, which is a nod to Jason Deemer. Number 84. In the quick montage of Riley growing up, she's shown to have outgrown her favorite shirt. This rainbow shirt is the same shirt she wore in the first film and is also the one shown to represent the colors of her core emotions. Number 85. When Joy hands over binoculars to Sadness so that she can take a closer look at Family Island, the binoculars look exactly like Lenny from Toy Story. Number 86. If you thought you forgot about the Triple Dent Gum tune, it makes a comeback in Inside Out 2 as one of the memories that the core emotions send back to the control room. Number 87. You can spot a Four Town poster right above Riley's bed before she goes to sleep. According to Deemer, this poster is for the Four Town reunion tour, which is kind of like how the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC have reunion tours and they're like really old. They're really old now, but they were popular in the 2000s and late 90s. I'm old. Number 88. When Riley wakes up, you'll notice that the shirt she wears is from Brang, her dad's company. Is this the exact same shirt her dad wore in the first film? Who knows? Number 89. The Pizza Planet truck makes a return, this time as a piece of origami in Joy's area of the room they rest in. Number 90. But what else makes a return? None other than Bing Bong. Bing Bong can also be seen in Joy's area of the bedroom. Number 91. When the mine workers come in to renovate the control center, you'll notice that Joe's piano from Soul comes crashing down from the sky. Number 92. TikTok taught me this. When Riley's parents are about to drop off the kids to camp, Riley's dad asks Riley's mom what their weekend plans are, all while giving her a sexy face. If you aren't paying attention, you'll totally miss it like I did. That's kind of freaky. Number 93. When the subconscious guards are trapped in the vault, one of their hats can be seen labeled as "My Hat." This is a throwback to a small little argument from the first film, when two guards are seen arguing over whether or not a hat belongs to them. Number 94. In fact, those two guards are the same ones from that were debating over the hat. Their names are Frank and Dave. You gotta love continuity in the sequels. Number 95. Dave is voiced by Frank Oz, a legend in the children's entertainment space. He was the original puppeteer and voice for Miss Piggy and Fozzie Bear in The Muppet Show, and was the voice of Cookie Monster. Number 96. Frank, on the other hand, is voiced by Dave Goelz, another legend. He was the voice of Gonzo, among many others in The Muppet Show. Number 97. There's a blink and you miss it Easter egg for Elio. When Sadness makes her way back to the control room, there's a pile of memories that come with her. One of the memories shows Elio floating, which is Pixar's next film after Inside Out 2. Number 98. When the emotions travel down the stream of consciousness, they first try to float via pizza, but eventually have to trade that pizza for broccoli. This is a nod to the first film, where Riley is introduced to broccoli pizza. The broccoli pizza strikes again. Number 99. Pixar voice veteran John Ratzenberger returns once again to voice a mind worker. Number 100. The Pixar Luxo Ball can be seen when the emotions run through the Parade of Careers. Number 101. While in the Parade of Careers, you can see some balloons that represent careers that Riley seems to be interested in. There's a pastry chef, art teacher, ethnomusicologist, and then a Supreme Court justice. Now, if Bing Bong wants Joy to take Riley to the moon, they better add astronaut to that list of careers. Number 102. Fear's coffee cup in the film has the Dream Productions logo on it. If you don't remember, Dreams Production is the movie studio in Riley's mind responsible for her dreams. Number 103. For those wondering, there is no Pixar short attached to Inside Out 2. Number 104. If you are a fan of Michael Giacchino's score for the film, unfortunately, he didn't return to score Inside Out 2. Instead, Andrea Datzman takes over for Giacchino. This isn't the first time Datzman has acted as successor to Giacchino, as she scored for Dug Days, which is based on Up, which Giacchino also scored for. Number 105. With a string of not-so-successful box office films for Pixar, Inside Out 2 changes that with a huge opening at the box office. Inside Out 2 garnered a worldwide gross of over $290 million at the box office in its opening weekend, and continues to grow. Number 106. Kelsey Mann has expressed interest in making an Inside Out 3 with Amy Poehler, the voice of Joy. Will we see some more cut emotions in this one? Hopefully. Number 107. For those that can't wait for confirmation of an Inside Out 3, you're in luck, as Pete Docter recently gave an update that the Inside Out Disney Plus series has a release window of next spring, which would be 2025 unless I'm totally wrong. It's a win for us Inside Out fans, and I absolutely can't wait for it to come. And with that, we've gone through another 107 facts. Which fact is your favorite? Did we miss any fun ones? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the bell to be notified when we upload next. Thanks for watching, and remember, Frederator loves you.